Welcome back to another recap series of web coding. So far in part 1, we built the contact form using HTML. Then in part 2, we styled it with CSS to make it clean and professional. And now in part 3, we'll bring this form to life using JavaScript. So why do we need JavaScript here? As you know, HTML builds the form, CSS styles it, but JavaScript controls how the form behaves. Things like validation, error messages, loading state, and the success message. So today we'll work on JavaScript to show how a contact form works in real life. Before we start, let me clear one thing. You can either write your JavaScript code at the bottom of the body. This is the bottom part of the body, just before the closing body tag, or you can write it in a separate JavaScript file. Since we have already created a separate JavaScript file, we'll write our code there. So we start our JavaScript inside a script. So let's first activate the script, and then we start a function. We don't need to close this function right now. So first we wrap all our JavaScript code inside this function. Everything inside this will run once the page loads, and it keeps our code safe and separate from other scripts if there are any. So next we connect our HTML elements with JavaScript. First we grab the elements from HTML, and for this we write constant form document get by element by its ID. And what is the first ID? It is this contact form. Next, constant form document get element by ID contact form. And next constant is submit button. And this belongs to form query. Selector will be button. Type is submit. So what we have done here, as I said, we have connected our JavaScript with the HTML. We created a constant called form and store our contact form inside it. We create status, which is the area where we'll show error or success messages. And we create submit button, which is our submit button inside the form. Next, we are going to create a helper function. Let's write it down. Function, a simple but effective pattern. validate email. Email is email. Return So this helper function uses a simple but effective pattern to check if the email looks valid. In simple words, it checks that email has some text, an @ and something like .com or .net at the end. If the email looks okay, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Now we listen for the form submit event. For that we write form add event listener submit function e. We start the code. Here we are telling the form whenever someone clicks the submit button, run this function. So this code will run every time the form is submitted. Next we write prevent default. By default, when a form will be submitted, the page reloads, and we prevent that behavior so that everything happens smoothly on the same page. Now let's clear any previous response messages that the form may have shown. So we write something like status dot class name and status dot text content So before we show any new message, we first clear whatever message was already showing. So we remove any previous error or success message, and we also clear the text. Now we collect the user input. This code's end here. Now we are going to collect the user input. Constant name is form dot name dot value dot trim, and then constant email form dot email dot value dot trim, and then constant message is form dot message dot value dot trim, Now we collect the values from the form. We get the name, the email, and the message. We also use trim to remove any extra spaces from the start and end of each field. Now let's write code to check if any field is empty. If name email message status class list add error status status dot text content is please fill in name, email, and message. Return. So this closes our this helper function as well. Here we check if any of the fields like name, message, or email is missing. We add the error class to our status area, and then we stop the function using return so the form does not continue if required fields are empty. There are some minor errors showing up in the VS. Let's continue with them, and then I'll fix them at the end. So we also need to show an error if the email address is not valid. Now we check if email format is valid. We write another small code. Validate email status class list add error status text content. Now it will show an error message. Please enter a valid email and return. So here we check if the email format is valid using our validated email function, and if the email is not valid, we again add the error class, show the message please enter a valid email, and stop the function. So the user must enter a proper email address. Now comes the real world behavior. Submit button dot disabled is true. submit button dot disabled. I'm going to explain this code once I have completed writing this code snippet. Text content sending status dot class list dot remove error status dot text content sending message. Here we simulate a real sending process. First we disable the submit button so the user cannot click it again and again. We change the button to button text to sending. We also remove any error class from the status just in case there was an old error. Then we show the text sending message in the status area. This makes it feel like the form is actually talking to a server. Next we write set timeout function status is class list dot remove error status class list dot add success, and then content of the text content of the status content message sent. Thank you. We will reply soon. Here we use a set timeout to simulate a short network delay. We wait for a little time like a real server would take. After that, we remove the error class again to be safe. Add the success class and show the message sent thank you, we'll reply soon. So now the user sees a nice success message. Now it's time to reset the form. Form dot reset submit button disabled. Okay, I paused the video for a moment to analyze the mistakes I made while writing the code. And instead of pretending everything works perfectly the first time, I want to quickly talk about the mistakes I made and what we can learn from them, because this is exactly how real developers learn. The first mistake I made was I used the class name as states instead of status, somewhere here in this code, and this wrong variable name stopped the script completely. Then I wrote add event listener. Where is listener? As you can see here, let's close it. So what I did was I just totally skipped this E after T, and one spelling mistake in JavaScript never runs. And then I wrote the script tag inside the script.js file, this one. Instead, I should have placed this code over here just before the closing body tag. And if JS is not connected properly, it prevents default from running. So by writing this code, I could have only connected the source file, which is script.js, with the JS file. So what we can learn from this mistake, these mistakes, JavaScript is case sensitive. Always make sure you enter the class name without any spelling or typo mistake, and always keep in mind the case sensitivity of the word that you are going to type. And the next thing, variable names must match exactly, and HTML and JS must be properly connected. And debugging is part of coding, not a separate skill. So now, before closing today's video, let's do what real developers always do. First we save the code, then we refresh the browser. Let's refresh the browser. So now let's test the contact form. I'll click the send message button without entering anything in all of these fields, and let's see what message pops up. And here, as you can see, it is giving us an error message. So if everything is connected properly, or JavaScript always respond, and yes, it does. Here, as you can see by this message. So this confirms our JavaScript is successfully linked with the contact form and working as expected. With this, our contact form series is complete. In the upcoming videos, we'll shift our focus to mini projects where we'll use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together in real-world examples. But before that, we will also work on making this website mobile-friendly, and we'll also learn about small tweaks like hover effects and many more things. So if you have really learned something from this video, especially from the mistakes, then give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more beginner-friendly web development content. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.